Hi, my name is Selines Silverio, and I'm honored to be part of the executive board of the Women's Fund of Miami-Dade. Wanted to share some information of how impactful and how honored and important it is to be on the board and drive the mission forward that the Women's Fund has. So as the owner and CEO of Silverio ÉXITO Consulting, as a woman entrepreneur, I know how important it is to align with an organization that really helps women's voices be heard and also help us on the business end and on the business front in so many different ways. What resonates most deeply with me is the Women's Fund unwavering commitment to uplifting the most vulnerable, which are women and girls in our community, especially those that are impacted by poverty, by violence, by systemic inequities. The Women's Fund doesn't just advocate, I've seen it firsthand. We activate change through different community leaders or other organizations we align ourselves with, our collaborative events. It's just such a community of unity. So through strategic grant making, community conversations, collective action, we make sure that the women's voices are heard and solutions are brought forth for women and young girls in our communities. One of the important questions to ask is what anecdote stands out for me personally about the impact of the Women's Fund of Miami-Dade? It's really simple. It's our story. It's a story that moved me to become part of the executive board. The story that moved me so deeply, hearing survivors of domestic violence who now have access to housing, to therapy, to legal support through many different grantee partners. And I can personally tell you, I have family, I have friends, and in my own personal life, I've experienced some of the situations that the Women's Fund help women through and advocate change and give them support and options to get help. So those words that I hear from the personal stories of the women we help, I no longer felt invisible. That resonated with me to the core, right? The moment reminded me as to why we do the work we do. These aren't just programs, they're they're a lifeline. They're an extension of the love and compassion we have for our community at large, and specifically driving change to women and young girls. Being part of the executive board of the Women's Fund, what it really means to me, being part of an amazing group of women that have so much passion, drive, and knowledge, and just seeing everyone work together, being part of this collective group feels like coming home for a purpose and on purpose. I always say you should do things on purpose and with purpose, and that's why I feel honored and I have a lot of pride in the work that the Women's Fund is continuously doing throughout the years that I've been here. I've been with the Women's Fund for about 5 years now. Time flies. And I love the human connection. That's one of the things that I love about getting together in board meetings, our events, our different collaborative impact opportunities we have within the community and our own. The powerful stories of transformation that we hear from women, that's shared amongst like-minded advocates to believe in justice, to believe in dignity, equity for all women. And that's something that fuels my tank of happiness, I always say. So it's not just philanthropy, it's about an impact. It's about collaboration and being relentless in the fight to gender equity. And I must give a big shout out to the CEO, Maria Meyer. I always say everything always, we board members, help drive the mission, the organization, but without our fearless leader, without Maria, without her passion and drive, it's contagious. And if you meet her, you know exactly what I'm saying. It's so contagious, the passion and drive she has for impactful changes for women and girls. So one of the things that I would love for us to continue and to see in the future for the Women's Fund of Miami-Dade in the coming years. My vision is for us to continue to lead, to be a leading force for gender justice in South Florida, expanding our impact through both policy and advocacy as we continue to do that. So it's a deeper investment in grassroots leaders and inclusive storytelling that reflects the diversity, the diverse realities of our community. I want to see measurable changes in economic mobility or continuous measurable changes. We always bring forth the data, and that's so important in any mission-driven nonprofit organization. And that's exactly what drives the Women's Fund data. What's the data out there on the different touch points that we can help women in the community? So mobility, access to healthcare, protections for survivors, and just to overall know that we bring the data, we bring advocacy, we bring forth changes to these different needs that we have within our community with women and girls, to know that we've helped uplift different systems and different circumstances. So overall, just a continuation of that, because I know that with data and action, there's always going to be improvement in our community.